It was a foggy morning when Flight 784 was announced for departure at New York's JFK Airport. This international flight was bound for London, carrying close to 300 passengers from all walks of life. Each face carried a different emotion, some were glowing with joy, others sunk in sadness, many looked weary, while a few were simply excited to reach their destination. But among all these passengers, one stood out, a little girl named Emma Williams. 12 years old, with curly hair, wheatish skin, and a strange glow in her eyes, as if she knew something beyond her years. Emma was traveling with her mother, Julia Williams. Julia was a nurse, finally taking a few days off to visit her sister in London. She had no idea that this journey would become more than just a family visit. It would become a date with destiny. Emma wasn't an ordinary child. She had shown signs of extraordinary intelligence from a very early age. Her curiosity knew no limits. From human anatomy to advanced math, from aviation safety to survival tactics, Emma devoured knowledge. She was gifted with an eidetic memory and an unusually sharp analytical mind. Her mother, Julia, often said, "You don't just learn, Emma. You absorb like you're preparing to save the world." At school, she was both admired and envied. One person in particular resented her, Sophie Granger, the daughter of the school's head teacher. Sophie came from wealth and power, and she had always been the brightest, until Emma joined. Despite her brilliance, Emma faced constant taunts, sabotage during science fairs, and even unjust downgrading of her grades. But Emma didn't complain. Instead, she focused harder. Her resilience made her mother proud, but also worried. "She's a diamond under pressure," Julia whispered one night to herself. "But I just wish she had a break." The flight took off on time. Everything seemed perfectly normal. Emma sat by the window, staring outside with a curious stillness, as if sensing something. About 3 hours into the flight, the captain's voice came over the intercom, "Ladies and gentlemen, we are experiencing some unexpected weather turbulence. Please remain calm and keep your seatbelts fastened." Moments later, a powerful jolt rocked the aircraft. People screamed. Flight attendants lost balance. Oxygen masks dropped. But Emma didn't panic. She closed her eyes and ran through emergency procedures in her mind. What most didn't know was that she had memorized commercial aircraft layouts, medical emergency responses, and even engine failure protocols. Toward the center of the plane, a man collapsed, cardiac arrest. "Is there a doctor on board?" the crew asked repeatedly. Silence. Then Emma stood up. Her mother whispered, "Emma, please don't." But Emma walked steadily to the unconscious man, checked his pulse, unbuttoned his shirt, and began CPR. She even instructed a flight attendant to tilt the man's head and find the defibrillator. After 8 tense minutes, he took a breath. A heartbeat returned. The passengers applauded. But not everyone was happy. Behind Emma, in seat 14C, sat Mr. Victor Hale. A wealthy, arrogant man who had once sued a hospital for saving his wife's life without his permission. He sneered as Emma returned to her seat. "Where are we? A school play?" She could have killed that man. He demanded that the captain reprimand her and accused Julia of encouraging illegal behavior. The crew stood by Emma. Passengers defended her. But Victor wasn't done. He would soon use his influence to twist the story. As tension settled, a little boy in the rear cabin started convulsing. His sugar levels had dropped dangerously low. Emma ran to his side. "He's diabetic. He needs glucose. Now." She quickly organized a search for sweets, juices, and used medical knowledge to stabilize him. Suddenly, the right engine failed. The captain announced an emergency landing in Iceland. Panic spread. Emma remained calm. She spoke to passengers, calmed children, explained oxygen usage, and told the crew to cover windows on impact. The plane landed roughly but safely. Emma had saved 300 lives twice in one journey. News of Emma's heroism spread fast. Videos went viral. She became an international symbol of bravery. But Victor Hale leaked a twisted story: child risked lives pretending to be doctor. His story trended for a day, leading to online hate and school complaints. Julia was heartbroken. But then, a twist. Sophie Granger, the girl who once bullied Emma, gave an interview. "I bullied her. I hated how good she was. But Emma is the kind of person I want to become." The confession broke the internet. Sophie's act inspired thousands of kids to speak up about school bullying and jealousy. A full medical panel reviewed Emma's actions, concluding that she saved lives using accurate, appropriate, and calm knowledge. Victor Hale was sued by several passengers. Emma received global honors, including the Presidential Youth Medal and a UN Humanitarian Award. Emma's story led to the creation of a foundation, Young Hands, Brave Hearts, training children in CPR, emergency knowledge, and emotional intelligence. 10 years later, Emma became a neurosurgeon. She gave TED Talks, mentored thousands of girls in science, and never forgot the flight that changed her life. As she stood at the UN years later, she said, "Wisdom doesn't wait for age. And kindness doesn't need permission. True courage is not measured by age, but by the size of your heart and the strength of your spirit." Emma taught the world that knowledge has no boundaries, and kindness needs no title. Even in the face of jealousy, hatred, and misunderstanding, one act of bravery, rooted in compassion, can inspire change across the globe. Never underestimate a pure heart and a prepared mind. Because sometimes, the smallest hands carry the greatest power to heal the world.